Good morning. Today we're going to get into the 23rd chapter of the Gospel of Luke on our Advent journey. This chapter consists of the trial of Jesus in front of Pilate, and then in front of Herod, and then back in front of Pilate, and then his crucifixion, and then his burial in a borrowed tomb. This is high political drama in this chapter, with a lot of political maneuvering going on as well. I firmly believe Pilate intended to crucify Jesus from the moment they brought him in front of him. That's just what Rome did with anyone who had any sort of following that was considered in any way a threat to Rome. They're accusing Jesus of claiming to be the king of the Jews, and that is enough to get you crucified in the Roman Empire, because the emperor thought of himself not only as the supreme leader but also as a god, and did not tolerate any threats to that whatsoever. So it was quite common for anyone to be crucified for insurrection as a threat to the power of Rome. Anyone considered as a threat to the power of Rome to be crucified. But Pilate goes through all this obfuscation, trying to say, "Oh, I don't really find a charge against him. Why do you want me to crucify him? Blah, 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 blah." And what I think he's doing is he's playing the Jewish leadership and getting them to do what he wants them to do already. Pilate's job was to keep the peace so that taxes went to Rome. Taxes from Palestine, Israel area would continue to flow to Rome unabated. As long as he kept that flow going, he was doing a good job. So by doing this, by already wanting to kill Jesus, but getting the leadership, the Jewish leadership, to ask for it and to plead for it, he can say, "Well, I did what you wanted me to do," when the people got upset that Jesus was killed. If the people got upset that Jesus was killed. It is standard operating procedure for political leaders to get you to think it's your idea for them to do what they want to do. And Pilate is no different. He's just maneuvering as any other political leader would do. Jesus is ultimately killed and crucified, and the inscription above him says, "This is the King of the Jews." In the Roman mindset, they were putting down an insurrection. They were putting down a threat to the Roman Empire and killing the King of the Jews. And so Jesus is killed for a political crime. And then this king is buried in a borrowed tomb. He doesn't even have the money for his own funeral. And so that's the encapsulation of the chapter. In chapter 24, we'll get into the resurrection stories and the story of the walk to Emmaus and ways that our Eucharistic theology is developed. So that we'll get into that tomorrow. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and it is meet and right to celebrate and to study the resurrection on Christmas Eve, I think. And maybe we'll talk about that relationship as well. So you'll have to tune in to check that out. If you're in the Omaha area today, be real careful. The roads are getting icy and slick, and we don't want anyone hurt. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and I hope you have a gracious day.